My guest speaker is Faisal Ensaun. He's from Canada, right? The great country up north, right? And right now he's taking his time out because he's right now in Colorado. Correct, Colorado, right, Faisal?
Yes, I'm in Granby, Colorado, about an hour and a half from Denver.
Right, and he's here. He's there to, of course, enhance his mindset, right? So
Yeah.
even the coaches needs a coach to enhance their mindset because we all
They
human.
probably need more. They probably need much more.
So, Faisal, I'm gonna thank you for coming on tonight. Right, I appreciate you taking time from your conference, right, and taking time from yourself to come on to the Meetup Financial Independence to Small Multi-Fair Investing to grace us and spread the self-improvement dust all around.
I appreciate you inviting me on this to serve your community, and I'm really excited about this. I mean, like that this is what I love. You've been in enough conversations with me to realize that by now. So I appreciate that. So can I get started, or is there anything else?
Sure, you get started. Get started.
All right, let's do this. I'm so excited to be here, and when I talk to Lawrence about this, I mean, I could kind of hype you up with a bunch of motivational stuff, and you might get all pumped up today, and then tomorrow you're gonna wake up and like, ah, what am I doing now? That's not what I could do that. I'm fairly good at that. But what I've seen is that there are certain things that have longer impact, and there are certain things that have shorter impact. And I wanted to do a couple of things, and I'll go into that. But for those who are actually staying till the end, I have a huge bonus that's going to not only help you prepare for the end of the quarter, but for next year, the year after, in fact, for the next 5 to 10 years, and create a strategic plan down to the day what you're going to be focused on. And if you can do that at that level, if you can plan and implement at that level, you're going to be at the top 15% of high performance in the world. Because a lot of that stuff comes from my training as a certified high performance coach, and a lot of that is based on researching people at the top level and how they operate in their day-to-day life, in their business, and their strategic plans. But before I go into that stuff, I'll talk about what we're going to do today. It's going to be very experiential, actually. I want to do a couple of things because it's probably the end of the day for many of you. Who has the last? Who's doing the last meeting in their time zone? I don't know where you guys are. Is this the last meeting for you? Raise your hand, share in the chat. Last meeting, you're probably all tired. I know Lawrence was like, all right, I need to get myself up. So let's do a couple of quick exercises just to get regrounded and recentered. So we can focus here, because I promise you, if you can be fully present and focused, you're going to take something out of this session, out of this day that you're going to potentially use for the rest of your life, and you're going to support others around you with it. And it's not what I'm saying, it's what my clients have said. So let's get regrounded because this is going to be really important. I'll do a couple of exercises, quick ones to just get your energy back up. The first one, we're going to do 20 breaths really fast, and we're going to do this one together. Okay, how we're going to do this is in through the nose forcefully and out through the nose forcefully. If you're standing, if you feel dizzy, sit down if you get dizzy. So do it with the best of your ability. That's going to change your physiology a little bit. So what I'll do is you can do this together with me. I'll show you quickly, and then we'll continue together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up and down. You're only using your nose to breathe in and out, and it's going to be forcefully. The way you know that it's working is your boogers are going to be all over the camera. All right, I'm kidding. It might or might not be. That's not the point, but you're going to be breathing, and it's going to be a fun thing. It's going to get you moving a little bit. It's going to get your breath moving, and we're going to see how you feel. So we're going to do this together. And for those of you who can actually be on camera, please be on camera, because most human beings, we interact based on our body language, tonality, our gestures. This is how we trust each other, by seeing each other and hearing each other. Actually, the words are actually a very small part of what we do. It's about 7 to 8% based on research that we have. So if you can be on camera, please be. If you can't, I understand fully. So let's do this. 20 breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. and keep a big smile on your face, and we'll do this together. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Lawrence got a big smile. All right, let's do this. All right. And what I said became very true for me. I gotta wipe my nose. All right, so just share in the chat. What do you feel? Just share in the chat. Those who tried it, please share in the chat. What do you feel? Notice what happened to your energy.
There we go.
Great. D Stacy recharged. It went up. Heart rate went up. I feel my energy up. Okay. This is just a simple, quick exercise just to help you understand that a lot of times when we're going through the day, our energy tends to decline, but you can do a very quick physiology change. Usually it's around your breath and body movement. So you can do a push-up, you can dance, you can do what I did, do something silly, it will get your energy back up as long as you're using your breath and physiology. All right, I want to do one other thing and then we'll jump into the core of it. And this one will be much more common. It'll get your energy more stabilized. And these are quick tools that you can use for yourself. Who's up for this one? All right, raise your hand if you are. All right, all right, all right. And then you will see the difference in your physiology as we do that. So I'm actually gonna play some music in the background for this. Lawrence, can you make me a co-host?
Surely. Boom. Boom. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I would love for you guys to just close your eyes and start focusing on your breath. Try to keep your back straight, and we'll see how you feel. Just entertain me here. Close your eyes for me and take 5 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you're taking those deep breaths, notice what's happening in your body. Notice any tension that you might have in your body. And try to do a scan. You can start with your feet. Notice if there's any tension there. Just you can wiggle your toes a little bit. Normalize your breath as you're doing this. Take conscious breaths, but normal breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice any tension in your legs as you're taking those breaths. Notice any tension in your core and your chest, shoulders. Some people hold tension in their jaws, your arms, your head. And if you need to move a muscle, do it. You can release it, or you can just, by your intention, you can release that tension. Keep taking those conscious breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, notice the energy in your body. And usually energy we call emotions. These are biochemical reactions in your body, and they show up in the form of maybe anxiety, maybe stress, maybe excitement, maybe peace, joy, exhilaration, happiness, fear, whatever it is, just notice it. You're not doing anything with it. Keep taking those conscious breaths. And as you're taking those breaths, repeat the word release in your mind. So you're going to say release, release, release. And the word represents any tension in your body, any thoughts, any emotions, anything that comes your way. You're just going to let those things be or let them go. If they come again, that's all right. Let them be. And repeat the word release in your mind. So try to keep your back straight. Focus on your breath and repeat the word release in your mind, and I'll tell you when to stop. Go. Just keep repeating the word release in your mind. If you get any thoughts, worries, emotions, just let them be. You don't need to engage. Just recognize that they're there and keep focusing on your breath. Keep repeating the word release, release, release in your mind. Notice the emotions, notice the tension, notice the thoughts. Just let them be. Keep taking those breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and take a few seconds, just notice what's happening with your energy, your body, compared to what happened before. And just drop in the chat. What do you feel? What did you notice about your energy? Awesome. We're getting some responses. Grounding, way more relaxed than before. Sam, Lawrence, I have the same amount, but my mind feels clear. And so this, by the way, this is the state I wanted you to experience. This is a state from which you can be creative, you can feel connected to others, you can be focused, you can move ahead. This is your creative state. When we're in reactionary mode and we're doing multiple different things and we're squirrel looking at this and looking at that, and I need to do this, I need to do that, we're usually bringing our reactionary side, our old patterns. They don't really serve you unless you know intentionally what they're for. So we're building new patterns, but this is one of those patterns that you want to build, that you need to keep regrounding yourself. And this took all of 2 minutes, not long, 2 minutes. This is just a tool for you to use, and it will help us think through what we're doing next. All right. So I wanted to kind of give you a couple of scenarios here. A lot of people think about goals quite a bit, and they're like, okay, what's my goal? What's my next 5 move? What's my goal next year, next few months, next quarter? And if you have goals, that's incredible. Like you're way ahead of most people. So congratulations, the fact that you have goals, that's a great thing. Here's the problem with those. Goals are not enough, especially the things that you guys are trying to do. You're building multiple businesses, or you're building your investment portfolio, or you're creating the kind of life for your family, for your community, that is based on abundance, freedom, and purpose and legacy, those kind of things that I know matters to you guys as you move ahead. So for that, what we generally need is more of a vision than goals. Goals are secondary, and I'll lay this out for you. I'll give you a couple of examples. think about a person, maybe this is you, or maybe it's somebody you know. Somebody who, as they're growing up, they're taught to go to school. After that, get that job, buy that house, get married, and then by the time that person gets to about 30, 40, 50 years old, and they've done all that, they achieved all that, they look back with a certain sense of feeling cheated. This is it? Can anybody relate to that? This is what I was told to do? Right. And that person had goals. That's why they got there. And that's a good thing. The problem is that that person followed society's vision for those goals. That person followed parents' vision, teachers' vision, societal vision, cultural vision. And the reason that person, when they got to that point where it didn't matter much to them, is because it wasn't their vision. They didn't feel aligned with that fully. And that's why many of you are probably seeking the next level. And here's the other one that comes up. So when you get to that point, they're like, all right, I'm starting a business. Screw the job. Screw all these people. They told me the wrong things. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to build my portfolio. I'm going to do multiple businesses. And in about 5, 6, 10 years, I'm going to be a multimillionaire. And I'm going to have the time freedom and all that. And then about 5, 6, 7, 8 years passes by, and maybe this person builds the wealth, maybe even the time freedom, or maybe not. Maybe there are too many things happening. But what ends up happening, this person 10 years later or 6 years later ends up in that moment and looks around, looks within, feels unfulfilled, disconnected. Why did I just do this? I still don't feel what I was trying to seek. And that's something I'm going to guess a lot of you are going towards. Now, nothing wrong with that path. The problem, again, is that was a vision given to you. So what I really want to do here is not tell you what to do, but I want to walk you through your vision of what is it really, because once that gets solidified, then your why gets solidified. A lot of teachers and trainers will tell you that, well, figure out what your why is and think about what it is. And some people will say, well, it's my family. Well, it's my path. It's my freedom. But you actually don't know enough if you don't know your vision to even state what your why is. So what I want to do is walk you through that vision, and we're going to get to how you can translate that into your goals strategically. And it's going to be something that feels aligned with you, and you're going to feel it. It won't be something, oh, this would be great to have. This is what I want. And I'm going to do a quicker version of this because this is generally, I'm actually doing this in the Paid Forward event here in Denver for 90 minutes. And generally, I do between 90 minutes to 2 hours this exercise. And I'll give you guys a bonus at the end of this that will help you go a little bit deeper into this too. But I just want you guys to experience this a little bit. Who's up for that, by the way? Are you open to that experience? All right. We got some open people. I love it. So before I jump into that, I quickly want to share a little bit. This is not about me. I just want to, because I want you to know that I've been where you are, and I'm still on that journey myself too. This about 7 years ago, I left my engineering career and I jumped into the coaching influencer world. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't explain what coaching was to people. I didn't have enough experience. Sorry, this thing popped up out of nowhere. I didn't have enough experience. I couldn't explain to my parents, to my family, what the hell was happening. And they were like, are you nuts? You're leaving the engineering career to do something you don't even know what it is. It's actually much less explainable than real estate. At least most people recognize real estate, what it is. It's like, what are you doing? Is it therapy? No, it's not. It's like, then what is it? I didn't know. And I went cold turkey. So and there's a longer story behind that, but I just had enough of that life, and I wanted to go towards this new path. So my wife and I decided, okay, we're gonna do this thing. Incidentally, I was around the time my first daughter was born too, and the first year, a couple of years, I struggled quite a bit as an entrepreneur. To the point where I still remember, and I started doing Uber because I didn't want to do my work in engineering because it was going to take a lot of my mental bandwidth, and I couldn't focus on building the skill sets and the business around that. And that was a hard path for me because I had to take a pay cut and also deal with all the social problems around that. and my own challenges. So I remember the winter month when I would wake up in the mornings, like at 5 in the morning, to go out, and we decided that my wife would be with our daughter, and I would do the. So I was the only one doing the bringing the money as well. And at the time, we were fairly pretty much in debt. So I would start my day every morning in the car, and I would turn on the app. I'd have my coffee with me, and in those moments this would happen. And as soon as I would pick it up, as soon as I'm starting my day, I would get a series of thoughts. What if you fail? What if you fucked up? What if this doesn't work out? What if everybody's right? And you can tell that the emotions that come out around that is fear, disconnection, panic. And I would go through that for a couple of minutes. And then the good thing is that I had been working on this stuff for a long time. So what I would get reconnected to right after that is that vision. And that vision was actually sitting with you guys, going to these events, serving people in the way that I wanted to, spending time with my family, being able to create the kind of life that I wanted, being able to contribute in the way that I wanted. That was far out, but when I would close my eyes and feel it, that was more real than the reality around me. That gave me more motivation and more connection to my why than anything else. And I felt it. And when I would feel it, it didn't matter how bad the fear was. It didn't matter how much I was struggling. When I would walk into the grocery store, I could feel my legs because I didn't know if I could pay for everything. When the rent would come up, I didn't know. But I knew this was important to me. It was a reason why I was so connected to this vision. And it was that vision that helped me create everything that I have, and I've helped hundreds of other people do the same thing. And incidentally, when you actually study leaders, you find out that they don't start with goals; they start with vision. Think of any leader that you're inspired by, and think of, I don't know, Elon Musk, Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, anybody that you feel inspired by. You will know that they have a vision, and they will even say it: "I have a dream, I have a vision." And they have a deeper conviction around it. They don't have goals laid out for it. That's secondary. Does that resonate with anybody? Awesome. So let's walk through this quickly. So we'll start with you guys just taking a little bit of time reflecting on this. If you have any journals, pull those out because I want you to do a little bit of writing, and then I want to walk you through an exercise around that. So let me share my screen quickly. Like I said, I'm going to do a much quicker version of this. So we'll do our best to move through this. So stay with me because it's going to go fast, but I know it's going to go deeper. Give me 1 second. I'm just. Here it is. All right. Let me know when you guys see the screen.
Yep. It's on.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So come back here and pull out your journals. I want you to think about a few things in your life, and I'll walk you through each of them, and then I'll walk you through another exercise afterwards. And stay with me because it's gonna require you to go a little bit deeper. So I want you to think about 3 categories, and we'll walk through each of them. And as I'm talking about this, I won't be able to give you a lot of time, but I want you to journal what these areas mean to you in your life. Because ultimately, what matters is what you're thinking about in your life. It doesn't matter what I tell you. And so this is the work. So I want you to think about 3 areas. If you were to look ahead 3 years, 5 years, 10 years out, and you decide the timeline, what are the experiences that you're seeking for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the people that you're around? And we'll go a little bit deeper into that. And the second one is incredibly important, and I'll go deeper into that too. It's around your growth as a human being, your internal and external growth. So that could be your skill set on the outside and your internal growth areas, such as your confidence, such as your faith. And then the last one is the ways that you want to contribute. And I'll go deeper into that too. But let's start with experiences. And an experience is very different than a goal. So here's a goal. A goal is I want a beach house in front of the ocean in 2022 that looks like that. That's a goal. It's specific. It has a timeline attached to it, and you visually know what it is, and you have the plan laid out. An experience is very different. So if you're looking at that picture, if you want a beach house, you're actually standing on that terrace area, looking at the ocean. You can hear the ocean, you can smell it, you can hear the waves. And as you're looking at that, you take a deep breath and you can notice what you feel, and you hear your family or the people closest to you behind you. That's an experience. So I want you to think in terms of experience, not in terms of goal. Don't worry about the how at this point. What are the experiences that you're seeking? And I'll give some examples. These are not meant to limit you. These are meant to just guide you through. And you might want something completely different, but I want you to think about the experiences that you're seeking in that life, that ideal life of yours. Maybe you're looking to just be adventurous and travel the world. Maybe you just want a close bond with your family. Maybe you want that close family structure, and you want to be aligned and connected. Maybe you just want to go on adventures in nature and just not give a crap about anything else. Maybe you just want that intimate connection with somebody, whoever that is. Maybe it's somebody you're seeking, or it's somebody in your life. Maybe it's your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, who you don't feel fully connected to. Maybe that's part of your vision or your experience. Maybe you just want to be at peace. Maybe you want to be deeply connected to your faith. Maybe you want those toys. So I want, and I want you to go back to that experience, because you have the ability to picture that and feel that in your mind. And I'll walk you through this in a little bit in an exercise. But for now, maybe you just want an RV and travel around your states or somewhere else. Maybe you want to be on those luxury cruises. Whatever it is, just put it down for yourself. I'll give you about 30 seconds to think through this, and we'll go to the next one in a bit. Just give yourself 30 seconds. It's going to take much longer normally, but I just want you to kind of noodle on this. Oh, hang on. I didn't share the sound. I'll have to redo this. I'll give you either imagine it or write it down. Awesome. So this is not going to be nearly enough time. I want you to get a quick experience out of this, and I'll give you a challenge after this. You need to spend a lot more time on this, but this will get you reconnected. And this is the important part that most people don't think about, and this is your growth. And growth requires internal and external growth. So for example, if you're going to be in the multifamily space and you want to create a certain amount of a certain type of portfolio, you need to develop certain types of skill sets around that. You need to for example, have underwriting abilities, or you need to have the ability to raise capital and get investors on board, or whatever that is. Or you might need the abilities to connect with other people, communicate better, or speak better if you were promoting yourself. And you also have internal abilities or internal skill sets, such as your confidence, your depth, your faith, your energy. So when you look at that ideal vision, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years out, what does that ideal version of you look like to you? Does this person look more confident, more powerful, more happy, more skillful in that specific context? I want you to picture that ideal version of you. And I want you to also picture how you ideally want to feel in that life. Because when you get there and you got everything and you feel disconnected, That will be your worst case scenario, even though you got everything. So I want you to feel what you want to feel in that life. Maybe that's at peace. Maybe that's connected. Maybe that's happy. Whatever that is to you. What is that? And write that down or picture yourself in that life, in those experiences. Give you about 30 seconds. All right, let's move forward. I told you I'm going to go fast through this. Don't worry. I'm going to give you the challenge, like I said, afterwards, and the framework for you to deal with this, to move through this yourself. So this is a very important piece, and this is a contribution piece, and this is not subjective to one person or another. Contribution is an intrinsic part of being a human being, which means that as soon as you take care of yourself, your first instinct is, how do I take care of others around me? And this is why you see a lot of people who are well off, they want to contribute, they want to do stuff. And a lot of times when I'm asking multifamily investors, well, how do you want to contribute? Well, I want to be a philanthropist. And I know that the reason they're saying that is because that's a good thing that they've heard and they've seen other people do it. But what I want you to think about is what feels deeply aligned with you. So for example, the reason why I do this work and I see this as a part of my contribution is because I went through a lot of pain to try to figure out how to be inspired, how to create the kind of life that I wanted to. And nobody taught me any of that stuff. And I had to work through that. And a huge part of my contribution is to actually serve in that way, to help people get reconnected to what it means to be at peace, to be connected, to connect with their purpose, vision, their legacy. Those were important things for me, but I didn't know where to look for that. And so when I figured it out, I wanted to serve other people with that. That was an important contribution for me. And it doesn't have to start big. A lot of people are like, well, I want to contribute in the whole world. Well, you need to start with yourself, and then that will spread out. And so you might think of it in terms of like, what is an ideal version of your contribution in your family? That is enough if you can do that. Maybe it's in your community, maybe it's in the world, or maybe it's a combination of those. So I want you to think about it, go back to your own story. Where would you ideally want to, how would you ideally want to contribute in that ideal life? I'll give you about a few seconds for this. All right, the last part, and this is where you will hear a lot of people will say, well, what's your why? Now you have an inkling of what your why might look like because it's connected to your bigger vision of who you're becoming, what experiences you're seeking, and how you're planning to contribute. So within that, you will notice what your why is. And it might not be fully clear at this point because it might be one of the first times you're walking through this. Why is this vision important to you? And I want you to take some time and think through that. For example, the vision that I created was deeply important to me because, like I said, I struggled deeply and I saw my friends, family, my cousins went through suicide, through addictions, through just completely disconnecting, a whole community falling apart. I saw all of that and there was nobody to help. And so my why is deeply connected to supporting people in terms of developing that self-awareness and community. Those are two things that I'm involved in. If I can do that within my community and other places, I've served well. So I want you to think about, what is your why? Why is this vision so important for you to create? I'll give you a few seconds and then we'll go through the exercise. All right. So my challenge to you is this. I'm going to share that framework with you in another form. And I told Lawrence that I'm actually going to just gift for those who want to go deeper into this, I'm going to gift my course, which I actually sell on my website for $47. For anybody who's interested, put your email in the chat and I'm going to add you to the course, or I'm going to send you the code for you to get it for free. That will walk you through this in a deeper way, the course, and it will give you the strategic path forward to how can you turn this vision into goals that you can apply next month, next quarter, next year, for the next 5 to 10 years. And by the time you're done with it, you will have a chart where you know where your actions are going to be focused on. It will still be dynamic, so you can make certain changes, but you know deeply what you're connected to, why this matters to you. I'm going to give that as a bonus. So for those who are interested, put your email in the chat and I'll download the chat, so I'll be able to send that to you. But I want you to get connected to your vision. So instead of me kind of walking you through this mentally, I want you to feel what your vision is. So we have a few minutes, and I want to take that time to really get you deeply connected to it. And the only thing I would love for you to be more open around this, and just be open to the experience. Be fully here. Even if you get distracted, that's okay. I'm gonna guide you through this, but be fully here, because it could get you really deeply connected to who you are and your path forward and your purpose and the legacy that you're leaving behind. And once you feel it and see it, you can't unsee it. It's like, if you guys have watched, has anybody watched Matrix here? That's where you take the red pill. So so this might be that moment. So I want you to just be open. And thank you for those who are sharing their emails. I'll download the chat and I'll share that with you. And like I said, no strings attached, because I wanted to serve and I didn't have enough time, because this is like a 3-4 hour process. And we only have a few minutes here. I just want you to get deeply connected to your vision. So I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to play some music in the background, similar to before. I want you to just ground yourself, which means just sit with your back straight. Close your eyes. I'm going to walk you through this. All I require from you is just be open. I'll guide you through this. All right. I'm going to share my sound. All right. Close your eyes for me. Don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be safe. I've done this hundreds of times. Close your eyes. Take conscious breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Try to keep your back straight. Notice any tension that you might have in your body. Anywhere in your body. Notice any emotions. Doesn't matter what they are. It could be stress, it could be anxiousness, it could be excitement, it could be joy, peace, whatever it is, just notice it. Keep taking those breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to go back to one of the most challenging experiences in your life. That could be recent or that could be in the past. Go back to that challenging or difficult time in your life. And I want you to notice in your mind what was happening around you. What was the challenge? Maybe it was a relationship challenge. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was an internal challenge. Just look around your life. What was happening in this difficult part of your life? Notice and keep taking conscious breaths. And as you're noticing what was happening outside of you, I want you to notice what were you feeling? What were the feelings and thoughts connected to that experience? Was there stress? Was there fear? And perhaps there was this sense of everything falling apart, this sense of things not working out. There was this sense of panic. What was going to happen? And maybe you were in a place where, like, somebody help, God help me, or somebody help me. Or maybe you weren't even recognizing that, but you were going through a difficult period and it wasn't feeling good. Feel that. What does that feel like? Because you will know what that feels like in your body right now. Now, as you went through that difficult part of your life, at some point you might have noticed that I can only control what I can control. So you might have focused on the things that you could control and let go of other things that you had no control over. Maybe you connected with your faith. Maybe you said that this God will take care of this. I'll focus on what matters to me. Maybe you connected it to your purpose, to your path. And you just kept putting one foot in front of the other and kept focusing on the things that you could do. And before you knew it, one foot in front of the other, you were on the other side. And as you looked back, you're like, all right, I went through that. Something within me or without me was guiding me. I have the strength. I had the wisdom to move through that. Notice what that feels like in your system. Notice what that guidance and power feels like. Now, for you to be right here in this space listening to this calmly, you would have to have gone through multiple challenges in your life and have gotten over them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And every time the fear showed up, the anxiety showed up, the uncertainty showed up, the what's going to happen showed up, but you were able to move through it. And you came to the point that you're in right now, and you still are here and you're able to move forward. That is power. That is wisdom. That is you. Now, as you're thinking about this, there's a figure appearing in front of you out of the darkness. As this figure comes closer, this figure appears more familiar. It's a future version of you. This self looks very similar to you, but there are very perceptible, tangible differences. This future self of yours hasn't said anything yet, but there's a big smile on this self's face. This future self looks stronger, more powerful, more joyful, more connected. Much more so than you could ever imagine. And as you look at this self, you're like, is that possible? As this future self comes forward, comes close to you, and gives you a big hug. Feels weird, but it's probably the best hug you've ever had. This future self puts its hand on your shoulder and tells you, let me show you what you're about to create. But you're going to have to trust me. You're going to have to trust yourself. You're gonna have to walk into that darkness with me, that scary darkness. You take a deep breath and you ask yourself, if I'm not gonna trust myself, who can I trust? You walk forward, one foot in front of the other. You enter that darkness, that uncertainty, and that fear comes back. That anxiety comes back. You keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other. You hear a voice saying, keep going, you got this. You'll be fine. You'll be more than fine. All of a sudden, this big blinding light hits your face. You almost have to close your eyes. And as you look around, beautiful day, the sun is shining. There are some clouds in the sky. You see your future self beside you, and the self tells you, go on, it's your life. As you walk forward, feel this cool breeze on your skin. And in the distance, you see some people who are playing around, they're joyful, they're laughing, they're connecting. And as you keep getting closer, they look familiar. They are the people that you care about. They're your friends, they're your family, they're your partners. You get close and your eyes meet somebody really close to you. And as you look at this person's eyes, you sense this deeper sense of connection. But you also sense something else in this person's eyes. There's this look that says, I'm proud of you. Thank you for leading us here. In fact, as you look around, every one of the people that you care about, they have that look in their eyes. And as you move forward, you see this beautiful body of water, see this beautiful building, and for some reason you get pulled into walking into that building. You go in, see this beautiful open space, lights that are bright, big windows, and in the wall you see some pictures. The first picture is a collage of you and your family and friends, the people that are closest to you. You are having fun, traveling, connecting, spending time together. And as you look at that, you smile. You remember how much you have grown together. Remember how much you've connected, how many experiences you've had together. There's another picture beside it. And this picture, it looks like this is where your contribution is. This is where you shine. This is where your purpose is. This is where you've served. Your team is there. Your collaborators are there. Your people are there. And you're leading them. And you get this sense of purpose and the sense of joy. And as you're thinking about this, your future self comes in front of you again, puts both of its hands on your shoulders, looks at you dead in the eyes, and says, thank you for having the courage to do this. Without this, without you, this would not be possible. This life is waiting for you. Your purpose is waiting for you. Your people are waiting for you. They're counting on you. Your path will be challenging, but you're stronger than you think. You're more powerful than you think. And give yourself credit. Keep going. put that one foot in front of the other. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Just take a few minutes to feel what you feel. And when you're ready, just drop in the chat. Was there anything that stood out for you based on your own vision? Please share in the chat. Lawrence, trusting myself to let go. Visioning my future self, giving me a huge hug was comforting and encouraging. We're almost done here. I'll wait for some more comments as well, but I want you to do one last thing. You saw your future self. You saw that life and that ideal version of you, that future version of you. If you were to describe that self with 3 words, what would they be? Just put that down. Give yourself a few seconds. Think of 3 words that would describe that future self, that version of you that you're growing into. And when you have those words, you can put it down in the chat and write it down for yourself. 3 words that would describe that future self. Kyan has shared joyful, confident, rooted. Would you like to, and I hope I'm saying this right, Kyan, would you like to share why these words are important to you? Joyful, confident, rooted. You can unmute yourself if you like.
Um, I'm not. Hello, everybody. Not quite sure how to express, but whenever I envision myself, I always envision myself laughing, smiling, and that is the energy that I carry and embody right now as well. So uh, to also see my future self as joyful, no matter what the circumstance that life throws at us at me, that I will hold on to that joy and the confidence, because life sometimes picks at us, and right now I go back and forth with certain things that I want to do because of doubts or whatever, fear, etc. So to see the version of myself that has overcome the second guessing and the doubting, and just being more confident in self and rooted in who I am, and everything that makes me. And I love that
That's
so much.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That was so powerful. And peaceful, confident, at ease, charisma. Sam, my future self was more confident, proud, and still hungry. Lawrence, confident, loving, inspiring. I love these words. And so these words, and I want you to go away from here taking something that you're going to use every day. Take these words, put them down as an alarm on your phone that's going to ring 3 times a day. Every time the alarm goes off, it's going to go on as an alarm, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening. Every time the alarm goes off, you're going to look at these words on your phone and ask yourself, why are these words important to me? Why do I see my future self as that? And if you can connect with that, you will never seek motivation outside of you. It will be good to have. And I wanted you to see that your motivation is inside of you. It's in who you are and who you're becoming. And carry these words with you. And I promise you that the words might change, but the general connection you have to those values and to who you are will determine how you move forward. So that vision is the world that you're creating. These words are going to be your guiding principles as you move forward. I'll leave it at that. This is, like I said, it's a much longer exercise. I did my best to kind of fit it into this. And for those who shared their email, I'm gonna send you an email with a code where you can just get my course for free. And the course will expand this further. I want to give you guys a challenge to spend at least 1 hour on this exercise. And you will see that it will clarify your path much more. But the course has a couple other components. It will walk you through the vision. You'll hear other perspectives of other people. And it will also help you create a strategic plan around this vision so you know how you can move forward day to day. And there are other trainings in there that will help you apply a lot of these principles in your life. Thank you all for sharing that. And I know I went a little bit over, Lawrence, but I'll hand it off to you.
No, listen, that was fantastic, because a lot of times we talk about, you gotta have these goals, gotta have these goals. So the question, I want to ask you a question. When you talk about the vision, right? You gotta have the vision. So create a vision board, is that part of the process also?
Yes. So most people, they will go and grab a bunch of pictures and they will slap it onto the thing, but it doesn't truly mean deeply into them. That's why I like people to really go deeper and think through it and feel it. So whatever visuals that you saw, it's helpful to put it on a vision board, but don't do it surface. Spend a couple hours working through this and connect to that stuff, and then the images will mean something to you.
Right,
That will
right.
be helpful. I don't need it that much personally. I'm very visual. I can picture things very easily. So I usually have a strategic battle board with 10 years of my plan laid out. So I can, but the vision is really connected to who you're becoming, the experiences that you're creating. If you can keep revisiting that in your mind or in front of you, you become unstoppable because that's as much of a reality for you as everything around you.
Anybody else has any questions?
Any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, please share. You can
Well,
also say, you suck. Why did you waste my time? I'm okay with that too.
you know what? This the mindset, the mind, in this real estate, in the game of real estate, the mind is game of life, especially the way things are going down this world now. It's very important. It's very important.
I have a question.
For sure.
Faisal, what would you say? Am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Okay. What would you say has been the biggest contributor to your overcoming of fear and becoming more confident in your own decisions? So, not needing someone to say, "Hey, I have this thought. What do you think about it?" But you have feel it, get an idea, execute, and not go back and forth. What's been the biggest contributor for that for you?
Thank you for that. First of all, I want you guys to understand that I got my own challenges, I got my own fears, I got my own problems. So none of this means you become infallible or anything like that. But the thing more than anything else that has helped me and my clients and a lot of people that I've served is, and we know this through a lot of research in high performance as well, as the top 15% of the world's high performers, the thing that helps them to move ahead in the way that you described is their purpose. It's their clarity around their purpose, and your purpose is connected to your vision. But as you move through it, as you work through it, your purpose starts to become clear. And as that becomes clear, fear will always be a part of you because it's a part of the human condition. Indecision is a part of the human condition, but it becomes much easier to move towards that because it's an important part of who you are. My fears are always there. I'm going to speak in front of a bunch of people in the next 3 days. I'm scared to death, to be honest. It's been 2.5 years I haven't been in front of people because of COVID. There's a part of me that's scared to death, but there's a part of me is like, let's go, because this is who I am. This is my path. This is my purpose. There's no two ways about it. So that fear is there. It doesn't determine my behavior towards. Does that help?
Yeah, no, it does, because I acknowledge that, yeah, as human beings, that we at different challenges will encounter some of those emotions again. But there's a growth phase that happens where the things that you used to fear are no longer something that you fear, right? And there is a process to get there. So what was sometimes we'll have these aha moments where something, whether it's a book we read or a class we took or something, helped us to grow a bit in that area, to overcome one level of fear or one level of self-doubt or limiting beliefs to
Yeah.
get to the next level.
Yeah, it helps to have tools and processes, and that's part of it. But by far, I can tell you what, and if you go back and study some of the most amazing people in history, whatever, whoever you feel aligned with, any leaders, just study their autobiography or biography, you will notice that they always had fear with them. But what they had was a bigger vision and purpose in their life. And that purpose was much, much bigger than any problems that they could ever face or experience. And it just kept pulling them. Whether that was their faith in God, whether that was their purpose to free people, whether that was their purpose to serve people in a specific way, that was it was usually around something that they wanted to do, contribute. When they became clear about that, actually most things didn't matter. All those things were a part of them. And to most people, it looked like, oh, these people are unstoppable. And they were, but not because they got over their fears, but because they were so connected to that purpose.
Susan Jeffers says, "Feel the fear and do it anyway." Right? Feel the
Yeah,
fear and do it anyway.
Right.
yeah,
So, question, Faisal. You said your growth, internal and external.
yeah.
Right? What are some ways what are some of the things like that helped you grow internally to get to this point where you're at right now?
Yeah. And I love that question because a lot of people, when you're talking about growth and enlightenment and we talk about positivity,
Mm-hmm.
and positivity is amazing. Having an optimistic perspective is amazing, but a lot of growth is actually painful. It's not easy. And what that looks like and what that has looked like for me is that I've had to sit through some very painful parts of myself. I had to deal with my resentment towards my family, towards my culture, towards my own mom. I've had to deal with my challenges of how I communicated with my wife. I had to deal with the fact that I was going to pass on shit to my kids that I don't want to pass on. And I had to work through that. And I still am continuing to work through that. I've had to question a lot of the thoughts that help me, that make me want to react in certain contexts and show up like an ass. And I continue to do that. It's day to day, moment to moment work. It's not a concept, it's a practice. So what does that mean? Part of it is this work. That's why I like experiential work, because you guys get connecting with your vision is much more important than somebody trying to motivate you towards a direction, because it's your vision. That's part of the work. Part of the work is maybe sit with your resentments and frustrations. Part of the work is maybe go spend that time, have that difficult conversation. Part of the work is ask yourself, why am I not moving forward towards this thing? Can I do this? Or do I need support in this area? This is the work. And the books won't help you with that. Podcasts won't help you with that. It's being deeply honest with yourself. Is what is true to you, what is important to you, what is the path forward for you. So for me, a lot of them has been like we have these themes in the general pop. culture and actually even in mythology and older religions is that you need to go face that dragon within you, that deep pit that you have inside of you, that scary dragon. And when you face that dragon, then you start to realize that, oh, the dragon is not scary because I have the power. But unless you do that, you will always be at the surface and you will always be reacting based on surface emotions and surface stuff. And that work is an ongoing work for me too. But once you hit a certain point, you start to notice that there's a part of you, you can call it your soul, your core, your deeper self, whatever you call it, that part wants you to expand. And your version of expansion is different from others. But once you get connected to that and it becomes your purpose becomes clear, then it doesn't actually matter what happens around you. It doesn't matter if the economy is bad, it doesn't matter if other people are negative, it doesn't matter. It will affect you, but it won't stop you. I don't know if that, I mean, there's a lot in there, but I don't know if at least at the surface it answers the question.
That answers the question, because I believe that, in the serenity prayer, God grant me serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know difference. And and for me, that means that I can't control nothing on the outside, but I can control me on the inside, how I react to things. Right? And it's not your fault, it's my fault, because I'm allowing you to create an action in me. Right? So that's you answered the question. Yes, you did. Very nice, very nice.
I love that. I love that. And by the way, and more than anything, I want people to notice their own energy, because that is real. That's within you. Only you feel it. Nobody else does. In this moment, just notice how calm you might be, or how connected, or maybe you might be like, what the hell just happened? Why are those emotions there? Why is this experience there? Whatever it is, notice it, because that's real to you. That's your truth. And that needs to be faced and worked through. That is more important than any concept you hear on the outside. Because once you can work through that, then that makes you more aware. That makes you much more intentional. That makes you much more proactive versus reactive. But if you avoid that and focus on all the things that people are telling you on the outside, that's where all sorts of things come up that has nothing to do with your vision. You'll pick up on this opportunity that will look great, but 2 years later, 3 years, you're like, why the hell did I do that? Because it had nothing to do with me, but it just looked good because other people said that it looked good.
Well, Faisal, I'm going to say thank you for coming on tonight. Once again, a fantastic presentation on how to stay focused for the last quarter and how to keep this focus on for next quarter and beyond.